All right, this is going to be a short exercise session for the lower body, and this is meant for people who've basically either been injured or been dealing with chronic pain or haven't been moving in a while. This is for the lower body, so this is going to basically go to the hips, the knees, the ankles, the feet, and the toes. So if you got a lot of limitations you've been working on, this is a basic way to get back into some sort of movement here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do each exercise with this step stool like the one I have here. This one has 3 steps. You don't need that many. You probably want one that comes up at least 3 feet up off the ground and has 2 steps. We're not going to go up too high with this. And part of this is to use the step stool for some of the exercises, but also just to use it for support so you don't have to worry about balancing as you're moving around. And then you can pay attention to how the different movements feel in your joints, and you can decide how far you take everything. You don't have to look like me when you're doing this. You don't have to go into any sort of deep range of motion. You can always just move a little bit into something and come back out. Just take things slow and pay attention to how your body responds. And if you want to take things deeper or take things faster, feel free. So get hold of your stool. And then from here, we're going to start this out basically with a series of, just to get in to the lower leg and to get into the feet. So stand in front of the stool facing forward, hold the top rail, and then bring both feet up onto the bottom step. Now, once you come up, have the toes of both feet on the step, have the ball mount of the foot, so the front half, let your heels hang in space, and then just lean forward, hinge from the hips. Now, to take this further, try to tense up your thighs, see if you can keep your knees locked and your legs as straight as you can. And then we're just basically moving the feet up and down. So just sink the heels down as low as you can, and then press into your toes, bring your heels up high for 1, and then sink all the way down. Lift up for 2, and then sink back down. Press up for 3, sink back down, bring your heels up for 4, and then sink your heels down. Lift up for 5, sink the heels back down, lift up for 6, and then sink back down. Lift up for 7, sink your heels down, lift up for 8, and then sink back down. Lift up for 9, sink back down, and then lift up for 10, sink down one more time, and then just step down for a moment. And you can hold the stool or not, but just shake out your feet. And keep in mind, if you just want to do a few of the repetitions, feel free. We're going to go for 2 more sets like that. So when you're ready, take hold of the top rail again, and then come up onto the bottom step. So again, toes are on the step, the ball mount of the foot's on the steps of the front half. Let your heels just hang down. Try to keep your legs as straight as you can. Now press into your toes, bring your heels up for 1, and then bring it down low. Lift up for 2, and then sink back down. Lift up for 3, sink back down, lift up for 4, and then sink back down. Lift up for 5, sink back down. Lift up for 6, and then sink back down. Lift up for 7, sink back down. Lift up for 8, and then sink back down. Lift up for 9, sink back down, and then lift up for 10, sink down one more time, and step all the way down. And then just take a moment, shake your feet out a little bit, loosen up your legs. And it's normal for things to start to burn after you've been doing this a bunch. And then we'll do one more round. So when you're ready, bring yourself back up onto that first step, both feet. Let your heels hang low, and try to keep your legs as straight as you can again. Lean forward. Lift the heels up high for 1, and then sink back down. Come up for 2, and then sink back down. Lift up for 3, sink back down. Lift for 4, and then sink back down. Lift up for 5, sink back down. Lift for 6, and then sink back down. Lift up for 7, sink back down. Lift up for 8, and then sink back down. Lift up for 9, sink back down. Lift up for 10, sink down one more time, and then step down and shake your feet out again. All right, and we're going to move on to another exercise here, and this is going to be basically bringing us into a lunge position. So facing the front of the stool, step over to the right side, and then bring your left hand to the rail, and this is to keep you balanced. Now your right foot's going to stay forward. Bring the right hand to your hip, slide your left foot back, and just take this back to where you can. So wherever feels comfortable for you here. If you want more of a challenge, you can go really far back. You can always keep it in close. But your right knee's going to bend. Lift the left heel, pull your left hip forward, and squeeze the glutes on your left side. Keep the tension in the glutes. Now keep your spine upright as much as you can. And we're just going to go down and up, and we're going to do 5 sets of this. So dip the left knee down. Come down as low as you can, and then lift straight up. Bring the left knee down for 2, and then lift back up. Sink the knee down for 3. Lift up again. Sink down for 4, and then lift back up. Bring the knee down for 5. Lift back up. Step the left foot forward. And then step over to the left side of the stool. Now the right hand's on the rail for balance, left hand to your hip. Left foot stays forward, slide the right foot back and keep the right heel lifted behind. Pull the right hip forward, squeeze the glutes on the right side this time. Keep your spine upright as best you can. Now bring your right knee down for 1, and then lift up. Sink down for 2, and lift up. Bring it down for 3. Come back up. Sink down for 4, and lift up again. Bring it down for 5, and then lift up one more time. Step forward. Shake your legs out a little bit. We got 2 more sets, so bring it back over to the right side. So left hand on the rail, right hand on your hip. Right foot stays forward, slide the left foot back. Keep the left heel lifted, pull that hip forward, squeeze the glutes on the left side. Keep your spine upright. And then sink your left knee down for 1. Lift back up, down for 2, and then lift up. Down for 3, lift up again, sink down for 4, and then lift up. Down for 5, lift up one more time, step the left foot forward, shake it out, and come back over to the left side of the stool. Right hand on the rail, left foot stays forward, left hand to your hip. Slide the right foot back, keep the heel lifted behind, and squeeze the glutes on the right side. All right, keep your spine upright. Sink your right knee down for 1, and then lift up. Come down for 2, and then lift up. Sink down for 3. Lift up again. Sink down for 4, and then lift up. Bring it down for 5. Lift up, and then step forward. Shake it out. And we'll take the last step. Come over to the right side again. So left hand on the rail, right hand on your hip. Slide the left foot back, lift that heel up behind, and pull the left hip forward, squeeze the glutes on the left. Keep your spine upright. Dip your left knee down for 1, and then lift up. Sink down for 2, and lift up. Sink down for 3. Lift up again. Sink down for 4, and lift up. Sink down for 5. Lift up one more time, and step forward. And then come over to your left side one more time with this leg. So right hand on the rail, left hand on your hip. Slide the right foot back, keep the heel lifted. Squeeze the glutes on the right side, keep your spine upright. And then sink the right knee down for 1. Lift back up. Sink down for 2. And then lift up. Sink down for 3. Lift up again. Sink down for 4. And lift up. Sink down for 5. Lift one more time. And then step forward. And just shake things out. All right. For the next exercise here, what I want you to do is instead of facing the steps, turn the stool around. And you'll be facing the back of it. And we're going to take this down to a squat variation. Now, just keep your hands on the top rail. Feet about hips width distance apart. Heels pointing in, toes pointing out. Now, just keep your balance, holding onto this rail. Try to keep your spine upright still. And then press in your toes, lift your heels, and keep them lifted. We're going to do 3 sets of 5. So with your heels high, bend the knees, push your knees forward, and just sink your hips down to where you can. Keep your spine upright. Come back up all the way to straight legs, and then set the heels. Again, lift your heels up high. Bend the knees. Knees forward, sink down to where you can go. Come back up the straight legs, and set the heels. Again, heels up high. Bend the knees. Sink your hips down. Take it to where you can. Lift back up. That's 3. And set the heels. 2 more. Heels up high. Bend the knees. Just sink down to where you can. Back up the straight legs and set the heels. Again, heels up high. Last one. Bend the knees. Sink your hips down low. Come back up all the way. Set the heels and just shake your feet out for a moment. This is definitely a lot of work on the feet, and don't be surprised if your toes are burning a little bit as well. Just take things as deep as you're able. All right, we're going to do 2 more sets. So again, holding the top rail, feet hips width, heels in, toes out. Lift your heels up and keep them lifted high as you can. Now, bend the knees, sink your hips down low, take it to where you can. Come back up the straight legs and set the heels down. That's 1. Heels up high. Bend the knees. Knees go forward. Let your hips sink down. Come back up all the way. Heels down. That's 2. Heels up high. Bend the knees. Sink down. Try to keep your spine upright. Come back up straight legs. Set the heels. That's 3. Heels up high. Sink down. Just take it slow. Come back up the straight legs. Set the heels. That's 4. Heels up high. Bend the knees. Sink down low. Come back up all the way to straight. Set the heels. That's 5. Shake your feet out. And then we'll take 1 more set. So again, feet hips width, heels in, toes out. Hold the rail. Press into the toes. Lift your heels up high. Now go slow. Bend your knees. Just sink your hips down. Take it to where you can go. Come back up the straight legs and set the heels. Heels up high. Sink your hips down. Take it slow. Come back up. Straighten your legs. Heels down for 2. Heels up high. Sink down low. Bend your knees. Come back up all the way. Set the heels. That's 3. Heels up high. Bend the knees. Sink this down low. Come all the way back up again and set the heels. That's 4. Heels up high. Bend the knees. Sink this down. Come back up all the way and set your heels. And that's 5. Shake your feet out. All right, and then 1 more exercise here. So I want you to turn the stool around so the steps are facing you. And then stand with the stool to your right side. Now your hand goes up on the top rail, right foot on the bottom step. Now just bring the left hand to your hip, and then go ahead, come up, so that your left foot is hanging in space. Now we're working the right leg from here. So you can bend the right knee as much as you need to. You can hinge forward from the hips, but just take it slow here. So bend the right knee and touch your left foot to the floor. Maybe just the big toe, maybe come down further. But then straighten your right leg and come back up. Bend the right knee. Bring the left foot down to touch. Press into your right foot and lift up for 2. Bend the right knee. Bring the left big toe down. Press into your right foot. Lift for 3. Bend the right knee. Touch the left foot down. Press into the right foot and lift for 4. Bend the right knee. Bring your left foot down. Press into the right foot. Lift for 5. And then step both feet down. And let's take the stool to the left side. All right, when you're ready, left hand on the top rail, left foot to the bottom step. Now, press into the left foot, and then just lift the right and let the right foot hang in space. Right hand to your hip. Back and forth here. Bend the left knee, touch your right foot down to the floor. Push into your left foot and come back up. Bend the left knee, just touch the right foot down. Press into your left foot, lift back up. Bend the left knee, touch the right foot down. Press into your left foot, lift up for 3. Bend the left knee, bring the right foot down. Press into your left foot and lift for 4. Bend the left knee, touch the right foot down. Press into the left foot, lift up for 5. And then step both feet down. And let's take it over to the other side. 2 more sets, so bring the stool over to the right again. Now, right hand on the top rail, right foot to the bottom step. Push into the right foot and let your left foot hang in space. And again, let's go back and forth. Bend the right knee, touch your left foot down. Press into the right foot, lift for 1. Bend the right knee, touch your left foot down. Press with the right foot, lift for 2. Bend the right knee, bring the left foot down. Press into the right foot, lift for 3. Bend the right knee, touch your left foot down. Press into the right foot, lift for 4. Bend the right knee, bring your left foot down. And then press back up, that's 5. And then step both feet down. And let's take it to the other side. So with your stool on the left hand to the top rail, left foot to the bottom step. Let your right foot hang in space, right hand to your hip. And then again from here, bend your left knee, touch your right foot down. Press into the left foot, lift for 1. Bend your left knee, bring your right foot down. Press into the left foot, lift for 2. Bend the left knee, right foot down. Press into your left foot, lift for 3. Bend the left knee, right foot down. Press into the left foot, lift for 4. Bend the left knee, bring your right foot down. Press into the left foot, lift for 5. And then go ahead, step both feet down. All right, last set here. When you're ready, just go ahead and bring this over to your right side one more time. And then right hand to the top rail, right foot to the bottom step. Let your left foot hang in space, left hand to your hip. All right, back and forth here. Bend the right knee, touch your left foot down. Press into your right foot and lift up. Bend the right knee, left foot down. Press into the right foot, lift for 2. Bend the right knee, left foot down. Press into the right foot, lift for 3. Bend the right knee, left foot down. Press into your right foot, lift for 4. Bend the right knee, left foot down. Press into the right foot, lift for 5. And then bring your left foot down, right foot down. And let's take it to the other side one more time. So bring the stool over to your left again. Left hand to the top rail, left foot to the bottom step. Go ahead, let the right foot hang in space and bring the right hand to your hip. All right, bend your left knee, touch the right foot down. Press into the left foot, lift for 1. Bend the left knee, right foot down. Press into the left foot, lift for 2. Bend the left knee, right foot down. Press into your left foot, lift for 3. Bend the left knee, right foot down. Press into the left foot, lift for 4. Bend the left knee, right foot down. Press into your left foot, lift for 5. And then go ahead and bring both feet down. Shake them out for a little bit. All right, and that is a short round of exercises there. It may be more than enough. You may want to do more. You can always repeat this. You can always take things deeper, and you can always just move a little bit into each type of movement. Keep in mind, you don't have to force anything here. But anyway, I hope this was good for you. Thank you very much.